Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalia Rahamatullah, and I am the SME Resource Center Officer here in Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for joining the session. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and I am here to answer any questions you may have regarding the episode that you just saw, the Rvrb webinar. Hi, good afternoon. All right, so we have a question from YouTube. Do I have to book an appointment to meet with someone at the resource center, or can I walk in? Due to the cases, we want to keep public safety in mind. It would be preferable to send us an email at smeresourcecenter@jmmb.com. And we could always liaise with you to make an appointment so that you could come in to see us. Or we are even open to doing virtual meetings. We try to utilize technology as much as possible given the environment we're operating in. So that's also an option. All right. And we have another question from Facebook. Can you go over the requirements to open a business account at Jmmb? Okay, so with regard to the requirements to open a business account, we actually have a full list on our website. Our website is tt.jmmb.com, but just to quickly go over, so the requirements are a bit different for depending on your structure. So if you're registered as a sole trader, the requirements are a bit different as opposed to if you are registered as a limited liability. So as a sole trader, the requirements for opening an account is a valid form of your national ID, one utility bill that shows the business address or your home address, your certificate of registration, bank statements for the last 3 months if you have it, and your last audited financials, or if you're in operation for less than a year, we would accept 3 years cash flow projections. If you're a limited liability, the list is a bit longer. So those requirements would be your last audited financials, or again, we would accept the cash flow projections for companies operating under 3 years. We would also require 3 months bank statements. Again, a utility bill to verify the mailing address of the business. Forms of national ID for any directors, the secretary, and the signatories, statutory documents. We would also need the company registration documents. So things like your certificate of incorporation, your notice of address of registered office, notice of directors or change of directors, your annual return, your notice of secretary, company bylaws, and of course, the completed Jmmb forms as well. You could always feel free to reach out to the resource center and we could guide you with regard to the forms as well. Oh, we have another question from YouTube. Can you assist if I don't know how to do cash flow projections? Yes, definitely. That is what the Resource Center is here for. If you are interested in opening a business bank account with us, feel free to send us an email. We will make the appointment. We'll sit with you. We'll make sure that you understand what a cash flow projection is and how to create one for your business. So yes, definitely. All right, we have another question. So if my business account is with another bank, is it difficult to switch to Jmmb? The answer is no. Once you have the documents required to open the business account, which if you've been banking with another institution, you would have those documents already. No, it's not a difficult process to switch to Jmmb at all. So if you're just joining us, my name is Natalia Rahamatullah. I'm with the SME Resource Center at Jmmb Bank. We just looked at the first episode in the third season of the Rvrb series, Music TT's Rvrb series, and I'm here answering questions related to the session and to provide clarity if anyone needs that. So feel free to leave your comments, your questions in the chat, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll do my best to get you those answers. All right, we have another question from Facebook. Are the Resource Center facilities accessed virtually or in person? And how does one get in touch with the Resource Center as a Jmmb business account holder? So the Resource Center facilities, we, due to the the new normal, we are available virtually or in person. So once you reach out to us directly, we're able to set up either a virtual meeting, a physical meeting, and you're able to access all of the Resource Center's services, both virtually and physically. With regard to how does one get in touch with the Resource Center, so you can always feel free to send us an email at smeresourcecenter@jmmb.com. You could also feel free to reach out to any of our social media pages. You could feel free to check out our website. We do have a dedicated SME page on our website with a little section for you to request to have a chat with a Jmmb SME advisor. So those are the channels that you can use to get in touch directly with the Resource Center as a Jmmb account holder. Of course, if you also have a relationship manager or someone that manages your account within the branch or within the business banking unit, you could always request to be put in contact with the Resource Center directly. Right? Okay, we have some good questions here this afternoon. Okay, so we have another question coming from YouTube. Can you tell me the difference on being a sole trader or registering as a limited liability company? Are there any advantages you're aware of? All right, when it comes to how you're registered, the biggest difference between being registered as a sole trader versus a limited liability company is the exposure that you have to your personal assets. So when you're registered as a sole trader, that is, say, your business name trading as, your personal name trading as, and then your business name. That's how you know that someone is registered as a sole trader. It means that you are the business. So when it comes to separating your personal assets versus your business assets, there really is no separation if you're registered as a sole trader. However, if you're registered as a limited liability company, there is that benefit that the limited liability company is completely separate from your personal assets, meaning the company's assets are completely separate from your personal assets. So, in the event of the company, getting into financial difficulty, you have to file for bankruptcy, or you're just in a situation where the business is in not a great position, you could rest assured that your personal assets would be protected once you're registered as a limited liability company. The company is treated as a separate entity to yourself. So I guess that kind of answers the second part of the question in terms of, are there any advantages or disadvantages I should be aware of? So again, with a sole trader, your personal assets are not really considered to be separate from your business assets. Um, so there is that you are exposed in terms of risk. However, if you are registered as a limited liability company, your business assets are treated as completely separate to your personal assets. So it's protected in that way. Also, just to add on, as a sole trader, your tax obligations are a little bit different to that of a limited liability company. Limited liability companies have some additional taxes to pay, such as the green fund levy and things like that. So those are just things to keep in mind once you've registered your business. Just waiting for some more questions to come in. Feel free to leave them in the comments. All right, this is a good question. What is the most common mistake you have seen that new businesses make? There are a couple. But the most common mistake that I see new businesses make is that they don't register their business early enough, meaning that they get into making sure that they operate efficiently, that they're able to deliver on the product or the service that they're offering, and they don't take the steps necessary to formalize the business, get registered, so that when they feel as though they're at the point that they are in the position to get registered and they go into the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the name that they may have been operating under is already taken, or it may be very similar to a company that already exists. So, and I mean in terms of your marketing and how you market yourself, your brand, your products or your services, it could be difficult to have to change that once it's already been established. So I would say make sure that you get yourself registered as early as you can so that when you are building out your marketing strategy, you're building out your brand, it's not something that will have to be changed because it's too similar to someone else's, or because the concept that you're using is already taken by another company. So it's important to make sure that you try to get registered as early as possible. The second thing that I would like to mention in terms of common mistakes that new businesses make, it's not keeping proper records of their finances. So even if you don't have a bank account yet, it's something as simple as keeping a record of the expenses of your, related to your business operation, as well as keeping a record of the money that you earn, right? So it's really about building proper financial record keeping. And, with technology, these things have become so much simpler. You're able to use things like Wave Accounting, and there are a lot of online accounting apps that you can use to make sure that you keep those records. You could also do it the old-fashioned way and keep your records in a book. You could keep your Excel spreadsheets of your revenues versus your expenses. But that is also a big mistake that I see new businesses make. They don't always keep a proper record of what they're spending versus what they're earning. So when you ask them, especially when it comes to opening your bank account, it's not something that they know easily. And just in terms of making good business decisions, I mean, knowing how much you're spending and how much you're earning is really important when it comes to making proper business decisions. And if you don't have that information, you may not be making the best decisions or making the right choices for your business. So it's really important that no matter if you're new, if you're existing, that you keep proper financial records. Right. So I think that is all the questions that we have for this afternoon. If anyone else would like any more information on Jmmb, on the Resource Center, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, our email address is smeresourcecenter@jmmb.com. Our website is tt.jmmb.com. And also feel free to reach out to us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we have a YouTube page, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. So just type in Jmmb Group TT and you'll find us. And we would love to hear from you guys and assist how we can. Yeah, so everyone take care, stay safe. Merry Christmas to you and your families, and all the best for the holiday season. And I just wish you all the best for 2022. Take care, everyone.